All right, I'm going to give Jay a call here.
How's it going?
Hey, Jay, how goes?
All good, thank you.
Right on. Let me share my screen with you over here.
Thank you, sir.
So, you got a lot of decks this week. You've been busy.
Well, a couple I put in. It was actually a very good week for winning. I didn't think I had as much time as I usually did, and I sailed through gold a good way into platinum.
Nice.
I haven't checked my weekly percentage rate, but it feels like I've been doing mid-70s.
Wow, that's hot.
It felt really good. I think part of it is one of the two decks we're going to go over today.
Well, where do you want to start? Why don't you start telling us about that deck while I load
Well,
it into Stream Decker?
Let's go ahead and load in the one that doesn't do as well, but I think you'll have more fun with,
Which
just
is
to
that?
sort of warm you up. The Black-Red Bolt deck. So, I mean, it's one of the things that you want to grind with is an aggro deck. In part because at least when I'm grinding up the ranking, I notice a lot of the times that you can sort of get a feel for what the temporal metagame is like. I know it's kind of a weird term, but you can sort of almost feel the metagame shifting in waves. And sometimes
as you're going up the ladder, you mean, or
as you go up the ladder or grinding through, gold and platinum. And so when sometimes you really want just something hyper fast to blow things away because everybody's playing things that are slower than are legit. And so anyway, that's when I bring in, and you could always bring in the hyper aggro red deck, but I'd rather come up with, going with something that's a little different and more fun. And this black red deck functionally has the same win rate as the mono red deck, but it's a lot more fun to play.
All right.
It's got some interesting nuances in it. Basically, there's 3 cards in there that or one card, but 3 copies of Baby Chandra, and that card's a little bit experimental. But the rest of the Black Red Bolt deck is very, very solid and well tested. I really I really like it. I mean, you're really just going to bolt them to the dome. It's pretty dumb in a lot of ways.
That sounds like my style. I've played a lot of red around here, around these parts.
Well, it also uses the black life gain bolt.
Oh, sure.
But the most important black card in there is the 3 casting cost spell that they can either let you draw 3 cards, the better risk factor in black.
Oh, is it the pirate negotiation one? Is that it?
It's
like needle sword point.
Sword point diplomacy.
Is that it?
Yes, and it runs 4 of those, and that card's just amazing because they don't know it, but they can't actually let you take any of the bolts.
Right.
I think it's always a mistake for them versus this deck to filter, and they always filter. So it just becomes efficient and efficient. I mean, it's card advantage and damage efficiency. It's just crazy how good it is in this deck because it's just full of bolts.
Bolt City, let's take a look. Oh, here I'm in the wrong place. We'll go to...
and as I said, the Chandra is the experimental card. I've been trying all the different card draws from the black-red one to experimental, and I haven't quite found the one I wanted. Oh, you didn't even have the Sovereign Bites. You don't draft those, clearly.
No. Well, first I did not draft much M19 at all. Was it? Yeah, we didn't draft much M19 at all. And especially not by the time I was streaming, because when we streamed, there was GRN out, so we just went GRN, RNA, War, M20. That's basically what I've streamed, so pretty light on M19. that being said, let's see. We have 3 rares, and this is our paid account. So on the paid account, we're willing to go to the store and open stuff and buy stuff, and in general, do what we need to get what we need. And we only need 1 more wild card, and we're there. So I'm going to go... Well, let's get... let's see. We don't have... I want to see what my completion level is, and we'll see what packs to buy. Vault... Completion. I'm not showing you on screen, but I'm looking at the MTGA tracker completion info and taking a look at the sets that we might buy to get our wild cards. And it looks like actually we're pretty far behind on M20 because we've been doing so well on free to play. So I'm actually going to buy M20 here. And let's just go ahead and get 15 packs. Again,
it only takes 6 for a rare, though.
Yeah, I know, but we're going to need some for the other decks, I'm sure. In fact, I almost want to get more, but this, whatever. Again, this is the paid account where I'm not even too concerned about our level of optimization in pack purchasing and whatnot. I just want to use money instead of time to get what we want around here.
And already a score.
Yeah. Oh, this is my least favorite part. I said we should have an open all button for anything over like 1 or 2 packs, but I was overruled. But we got there. The hard work of opening the packs is done. We go back to the deck, and let's complete this thing. All right, I'm in.
There you go.
Now let's
Charge.
call this
Bolt City.
Bolt City Rollers. We're just going to jump into ranked. This is generally what I do. It's what I want to model because, you know, if you're like me and you're a free-to-play player on your main account and need to grind gold some days because you just don't have the funds to draft the way you want, I do like I like playing in the ranked queue. Gives good matchups if you have a good deck for it, and then it does help you advance towards rewards at the end of the season, which while they're not spectacular, are certainly worth at least getting to gold on, I think. Well, this is a little behind the curve where I think we won. Are we keeping this, though?
You're going to keep it. You'll have to keep some of the 2s. And you almost always, not in this case necessarily, but almost this is one of the very rare cases you don't take the 2. I mean, if you had a shock in your hand, I would say take the 2.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. Everything you could want.
All right, so now we're just waiting to bolt their face, end of turn.
Absolutely.
Looks like either the flash... Okay, I was going to say it's the flash deck or it's the escape shift, but it looks like it's flash. Or maybe
Doesn't matter. Nah, it's probably RAM, but whatever. Bolt their face.
Whatever, bolt their face. Maybe that should have been the name of the deck. A little too long.
Yeah. Chandra. Let Chandra bolt their face. Well, weenies. But
Weenie their face.
Weenie bolts. I think I like Chandra better than the black-red enchantment.
The black-red enchantment.
The one that puts an extra card underneath it.
Yes. What is that called? It's like some showmanship type card, right? Because it's Theater of Horrors. Thank you. Knew there was some entertainment angle to the name of that card.
So now you have some interesting choices. You could... I think you want to put the 2/1/1s out, just because the damage isn't much different. And
right. Are we just going to face, right?
You're just going to face. As I said, you can count 11 of their 15 life in your hand.
They don't want to block there. Yeah.
I mean, the reef is so critical to their deck, we should think about killing the reef.
No, we're going all the way. We're going all the way.
That's fine. I'm just saying we should think about it.
I'm thinking about it, and I think no.
That's fine.
You're probably right, but I think it's more fun to just go straight to the face.
You see what
here.
I mean? This deck is crazy fun. This is all you really have to do.
Swordsman is suggesting maybe Knight of the Ebon Legion in this deck.
So, this deck has a weird issue with giving targets. It doesn't really like them, and the Knight is something they can use their removal on. Schneider is kind of sketchy because, you know, it can... I'm almost wondering whether... I mean, we don't have the permanence for the 4 damage card.
Oh, is there Hearthstone in here? Or Heartfire?
No, there aren't.
Yeah.
You don't have enough
Yeah,
permanence.
you don't have any permanence for it.
Right. I mean,
Other
really...
than Acolyte
Fire
tokens,
Blast.
yeah. 1/1 haste, gain +1/+1 when it does damage. I don't see that in there. Oh no, yeah, there is 3 Dreadhorde Butchers. Here it is.
Right, but that's got a built-in damage on it.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and do this because this gets them to 3, and then all of our bolts win.
I wouldn't swing.
We can do it on defense.
Yeah, use it on D. You can always turn it forward if they don't block.
Right. If we draw 3 damage, we go to their face and then attack, and it's
right.
Trouble time.
You have 1 or 2 cards you're drawing out at this point. You have outs, like 20 of them.
Oh, our outs just went down by a couple.
Yep, they're up to 7 or 6. So now you need. Now you've got 4 primary.
Of course. Look at that. Oh. All right. Well,
hey, but it's as good as any other bolt.
Yeah, it is. But I'm just saying, if we did have the win if they didn't draw this exact card. Is there any reason to wait? Should we just do this?
Only if you want to change the way they play. That would be the reason. They don't do discard in this deck.
They're probably not even countering.
Some of them have snake.
Sure. The new mystic.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I should have just thrown that at the face while it was clear.
Doesn't really matter though.
What up, Nissa? We're gonna try to win off the top, or else we're done with this one.
You probably get 2 draws.
2 draws, you think?
You gain 3 life with the fight.
And we're at 20. We're at 20.
And you got a chump blocker. Oh, that's
had a chump blocker. Now we're 3 cards away from enough damage to win. That's pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll give it 1 more untap.
That's kind of a weird card for them to have.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. But it worked here.
Yeah, it worked here. It also might have meant we maybe should have swung after they didn't attack to pop the butcher initially.
Yeah, maybe, but it's hard to anticipate this out of a constructed deck right now. Really, you're seeing it more Fnatic Heroes? Oh yeah, you've been playing more than me. I've been on all limited all week. I don't know if we're seeing this in the queues at all.
Yeah, you see the reef, but let's see what we get. Nope. You know, the deck is only a little more than 50-50. It's meant for punishing things that play too slowly.
Yeah, and if you are I like having a grind deck like this at the ready. I played that one out longer than I would have if we hadn't been on stream. Basically, as soon as it started turning south, and actually not. Basically, I would have scooped to the life gain from the flyer. That was what really took us out of it.
So, Swordsman, I see your comment about the Judas and the War boss, and it's really been kind of weird. I've tried playing the creature version, and so many of the control decks, which you're trying to smash, have a lot of counter control in them, and that's just really why I don't put them in.
Yeah, I'm my mono red deck right now is basically the evolved version of your Elementals Sly that you brought on a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's in a great position, and it's a lot more fun than just straight up
the normal.
wizard red or whatever.
And again, it has a very similar percentage. I've been tempted to put in the lava runners in this deck. Again, the issue of it gives a removal a target and they can block.
Yeah, you're really kind of playing a best of one angle here with no removal targets.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like controlling here or waiting to see if they have spells? I mean, right now they're not actually doing much.
This one's kind of, you do want to play this one a little smart. So
you're on the wrong stream, buddy.
Yeah.
What would you do though?
I think I kill one of the lava mancers. Those guys are going to be hitting for 2 really
soon enough. All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
I know what you mean by murder mitten. What is murder mitten, Holy Taint? Oh, is it does Wisconsin look like a murder mitten? I don't know. I've never heard the murder mitten term before as the thing. Oh, it's made in I thought it's made in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
So I might drop the Chandra out right here.
And just send them in.
What are they going to do to it? You're going to hit 2 points. And they're going to either throw a bolt at it and charge into it, where it kind of did its job, or not.
Better than having a plan. Basically, anything.
And you got a couple points of damage in.
Right. And there's the shock.
I'm gonna go get him, buddies.
Well, we know what they're going to do.
Yeah.
And that's okay. We drew a shock. We got 2 points of damage. Actually, we drew 4 points of damage.
Right.
And a shock for 3 mana.
Walk it off, Chandra.
Yeah, there are some people who want to pronounce LaCroix, because that's a correct French pronunciation. However, LaCroix is taken from La Crosse, Wisconsin, and the St. Croix River, so it is literally LaCroix because it's named after a darn river that's pronounced not French-like. All right. Well, we can. So
they're sitting on low mana.
Yeah.
They haven't dropped. That means they're going to have more gas than we do. So we have to play it. We're not going to. Yeah, I think we have to kill the 2/1.
And we don't get to do anything else if we do that. We can go face and kill it with the skewer. We go face and skewer light.
You can. Can you play another? Yeah, you can. Make sure it taps the swamp though.
Yeah, we can do this. I guess we'll start with the light in case we get a skewer out of it.
That is a handful of goodness to draw from the light.
Yes, Holy Taint. This is a user-submitted deck, and I pilot it with the deck maker on the line, but except the user is always Jay Schneider, and he's always my deck maker. Jay Schneider is most famous in the Magic community for designing the slide deck, which redefined how decks were really designed and made in the early stages of the game. And that brewer mentality that he brought to the game in the mid-90s is what he's bringing to us on Friday afternoons, and we try to look for some different ways to take on the standard metagame on Arena. Here we're going to work from our cards that are going to go away.
Yeah, start with Sword Point.
Oh, sure. Yep.
You didn't want a Sword Point for... Oh, there it is, yeah. I hate it when it does that.
Yeah.
It is so bad with land tapping.
The race is on.
The race is on. probably depends on what you pull off of the sword point.
What we do here.
Yeah, well, what happens on the game?
Let's go.
Oh, nice top deck.
Do we want to do the sword point at all, or are we just winning here?
Not yet.
Let's
No,
see.
yeah, just win.
How do we just win? We go.
You play Sovereign's Bite and whatever else.
Okay. Oh yeah, because it's
it's healing.
It's just
It's healing.
It's life gain against red. So how do they win?
In this fight, it is the most efficient card in the game. It's a double bolt.
Watch him scoop to it. I can't beat a Sovereign's Bite.
I've actually seen people scoop to Sovereign's Bite.
All right, here we're gonna go Crypt tapped, play Butcher, attack with both.
Seems good. Fight looks pretty nice now.
I don't know if Sovereign's Bite is a legit card in Esper, because Esper's trying to control the board and Bite only goes to the face. But when you're trying to bolt your opponent to death, it sure is fine, especially as we've just pointed out here in a world where you're going to be facing mono red decks 30% of the time, if not more.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad in the other fights in this deck, and against mono red, it's crazy good. And besides, when else are you going to play that card? You didn't even own a copy. 4 copies.
Certainly not in draft. Hey, I had one. I must have got a last pick Sovereign's Bite somewhere.
And they're going to have a real issue with your sword point since they can't afford to filter any.
Don't play Sovereign's Bite in Limited, kids. Don't draft this card. Be like me.
I would also say in Constructed, don't generally
Don't
play
generally
it.
play it in Constructed either.
Don't play your, hold your land.
Oh, hold the land, sure.
Hold the land first, and make sure that it taps the double swan. It didn't.
That doesn't matter. I mean, we can play any of these lands.
It doesn't matter, but it's just annoying. And I don't know what they're going to do here.
Yeah, damned if you do, damned if you don't, when you are in sword point diplomacy.
Mm-hmm. Card's just amazing. Well, it is here.
Now we just win, so I'm not sure what that was about. Because even if they do something to kill one of these, we go to their face with it. So
yeah, you've got 5 points of creature damage. I guess isn't there that thing that removes from play in red that does 2 damage? I can't remember if that's an instant or not. There's
maybe, but nobody plays it.
Right, of course.
Oh, you mean lava coil?
No, there's an instant one.
Oh, instant.
They can go to the dome. It's a 2-point incinerate. I think it's like it's an uncommon in M20, maybe. You're the one who plays these weird draft formats all the time. I thought
Chandra's M20 uncommon.
No, not
spell.
Heartfire. It removes from play like Incinerate or Exiles when it kills.
Now I'm too curious. We gotta go see.
I think maybe I'm crazy.
So it's an Exile black instant.
No, Exile red.
Red instant. Okay.
Yeah, or red. It may be sorcery. That was what I was trying to remember.
There's a Scorch Mark. I can show not collected.
There you go. That's
Scorch Mark.
Scorch Mark.
Yeah, I don't see that too much.
They could have played Scorch Mark.
But it was in the format.
It was in the format. They did have a solution in the format. I thought you'd enjoy this deck.
Is the goal to induce punts by confusing the opponents with bad cards like Sword Point? Very funny, but no, it works. That's serious business right there. We're going to keep this.
The goal is to have a deck that is of tier 1 strength, that is enjoyable to play, and different than what you play every time.
Yeah.
And in this case, and that often means finding methods that are equally good to success by finding good combinations with cards that are traditionally bad. Let's just say of much narrower use. Mr. Rosewater would appreciate that terminology.
Yes, they're not bad. They're just narrow.
Very narrow.
Well, we're gonna shock the crap out of that.
Sovereign Fight's actually pretty good in the vampire fight too. You do have to play control in this one.
Are we gonna go ahead and light up the stage even though we can't play a land off it, or are we waiting?
No, light up the stage even though you
Take
can't
the
play
risk.
one. Yeah.
This
Well,
is where
if
I
you
get
get an
a
extra
3-drop
land,
and a
who
4-drop,
cares?
though. All right, we got it. We got it. 3-drop and a land is actually perfect. Perfect.
That is spot on. And then they get the ugly choice. They'll probably overfilter. Not knowing truly how much you can go to the face. No one really expects a deck to be all bolts in this format. Well, they probably do now. Actually, they probably think you were lucky since they've seen this stuff.
How about... Okay. Okay, I like it. I like it.
Yep. So they took 9.
So we're going to stay back, and then our plan is to block one and ping the other if they come at us.
Pretty much. You don't want to let them get away with the... Don't forget that the main target is the lifelink guy, not the 2-1.
Ooh, well, wherever... the main target now is wherever Soren tries to add a counter.
Sure. Well, what they should be doing is sacrificing. It's still... hold on for a second. Hold.
Too late. Sorry.
Because you could have chumped and shot the lifelink guy.
Yes, that's true. But I like... Well, let's see. Yeah, maybe that was a mistake. This can
now
go...
you have an interesting choice here. So don't forget the Butcher gets tokens when you hit a Planeswalker.
Yeah.
The problem we have here is, if I remember correctly, and I'm double checking, they gain life when they sacrifice a vampire.
Right.
And that's a bit of a concern.
Yeah, if we... Well, we could go... Do we have a shock? Yeah, we have a shock. We can Chandra and kill their only vamp currently.
That's a good plan. I really like that, actually. Good call.
Not to brag, but I'm totally the best pyromancy student. Come on, Chandra, remember that spell.
And this leaves us with a couple of elementals if they don't pressure Chandra, which I don't expect
If they
them to be
don't
able
pressure
to.
you, you're going to hit them crazy hard next turn. Those guys are useless. They don't actually have an ability.
Oh, I know. My favorite thing on Arena, I think, of all things, is aiming a shock at Vanguard, having the opponent spend 4 to save it, and following it up with another shock, and watching them let it die. That's my favorite thing.
Before sending this to you, I tweaked the swamps down by 1, and I think you may be paying for that right here.
Yeah, we could use another swamp, obviously, here.
Yeah, so...
well,
there may be a bit of a my bad here.
So do we Butcher, attack, and go after Soren? Or are we just in trouble now?
No, you definitely put the Butcher out and swing, and I guess you go for Soren.
Like, we had this one locked up, except for Soren, because Soren's quite an amazing magic card, really.
Soren is. It makes vampires. I mean, the deck is dead without it.
Interesting.
Wow. Go to the dome.
We got to go to the face and hope,
Dome.
right?
Face, yeah, face them.
And we'll keep dumping our hand of lands, but unfortunately, yeah.
You're at 19 life. So
yeah, this is about to get rough,
let's just say
though.
you've got 1 or 2 bolts you're drawing at here. You don't really care if they're putting a token, whatever.
Yeah,
they're not
we're
killing
gonna send the Butcher at the face, and if they block, we get to take out the Lieutenant at least. Which I think we have to do.
Yeah. You probably wanted to hold it there, but I guess
Yeah.
did they filter, it was last game, they filtered all your...
All right, this one's slipping away. Yeah, the thing with Sorin as black is that they really wanted to make it as a black-white card. And it may have been able to hold up under the one black cost, but I mean, the point of the card is to come down on 3 and be kick-ass with vampires, and vampires are black-white in standard, so I get why they made this only single black.
Yeah, you're dead. You can scoop at this one.
Yeah. All right, we're playing until we get a notch a win with this one. I shouldn't say that. I'll be here till 7 o'clock on variants.
Well, you won one of the games already.
Well, we're playing till we win another one.
Sounds good.
Frickin' Sorin. Am I a Seahawks fan? Historically, I've been a huge Seahawks fan, but I'm really at a point of naked lunch when it comes to my NFL fandom and how much I can actually get behind a league that is as frankly awful as it is. Like, I got a lot of problems with the NFL, but I think it's the best game. Like, I think NFL is turn-based strategy, and like soccer, football is real-time strategy. That's how I look at those two games. But yeah, I'm born and raised in Seattle. Basically, my relationship with the NFL at this point is I'll watch it when it comes to me, but I'm not going to prioritize it anymore. If I have the time to catch a Hawks game, I'm going to give them that. But I was 3-4 years ago pay $250 for the full-on NFL Sunday ticket package guy, you know, so I was like all in as of very recently, but I just can't morally justify it, even though, again, if the good place has taught us nothing, it's that moral capitalism is basically impossible in modern America. But I'm going to try to make some stands with my money. I think your dollar and eyeball vote is nearly as powerful as your vote at the polls. So
I'm glad to see that guy get some play.
Yeah,
the Barkite troll.
So we're going to take the damage here almost no matter what. Question is, what do we do with it?
You have two. I think you go ahead and just shoot him down. You shoot down the troll. You shock and firebrand it.
Well, if we firebrand and they take it, it goes to 1. But then we shock and they pull off. Oh, they're sorry, tapped out. Yeah. Sorry, I keep thinking this is a free ability, but it is not.
It should have been.
Yeah, it feels like it could have been and not broken the card.
In the old days, it needed the 1, but I mean, it's no better than the Urza's troll.
Right, it's not super broken or anything. Can't bite. Bite his face. As I will show you now, bite is face. Although we could
don't bite. No, play
firebrand.
Play the firebrand.
All right, I was just trying to use all my mana, but yeah, firebrand is more damage long term. It's all right, Holy Taint. Nobody reads cards around here anyway, especially Sovereign's Bite. Like, we don't.
I know my responsibility. I've got it.
That's not a bad result for us, really. We get Butcher to face, Firebrand to finish off Teferi, and Light for the goodness.
That seems like a lot of good.
It's only a matter of time.
Oh, and haven't given you this. Darn it.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal. Light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance!
And the nice thing is they're just about in countable range. You've got pretty much 9-10 points in your hand and on the board that they almost can't stop.
I'm looking away right now because new chat has reminded me that my my tag is wrong. on what we're doing here, so I'm gonna get on that. We're going constructed.
I'll show you straight.
There, that's better. MTG Arena Standard with Ryan and Jay is what we're doing. Sure, you get the Butcher back again. I don't think this is going to work out for you, though, Oppo.
No, this doesn't seem like a winning strategy. It seems like a stalling strategy.
I'm down with killing the elf.
Absolutely. That's
It's
what
in
they're
our
there for.
way.
If you don't, it's just going to block.
Nice. I'm
You
going
don't want to
to
make
do
them block.
double Butcher.
Double Butcher seems good.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
You first. I'm definitely up for round 2, Teferi. Are you up for round 3 is the question, with the third Time Raveler coming out to try and stall the game. Land. Firebrand it? No, that's fine. They're gonna... You don't have time to keep that, do you? Oh, you think you have time for a... Arcbow Ranger? That doesn't seem right. Yeah, thank you, Guru. I will do that as well.
Wow, that's a pretty good ending to this game in your hand.
Oh, sorry, I don't want to slow roll Oppo here. I'll get those updated later. Yeah, we go... oh, wait, sorry, cancel that.
you
Bite,
don't-
swing?
Well, swing, bite, sack.
Yeah.
Because I bet they've never lost to a double Sovereign's bite.
Exaxes. I guess they could conceivably have a spell pierce, so let's make sure that's not what's happening here.
Sure. Let's bite, and make sure there's no pierce. It's still not going to save him next turn from Chandra, but anyway.
All right, there we go. That's a good win with that deck. Now I'm ready to move on to the next creation.
So the next one, I can't claim a whole lot of credit for it because it's Esper control and it's been around forever. It is one optimized for grinding, which is, I guess, my contribution to it. If you don't mind loading it in.
Sure, let's do it. All right.
Yeah, that happens a lot. So, Fnatic, back when I first started playing the slide deck, before the first articles came out, remember, this was my tournament deck. And in Atlanta, this was before we had even the first Pro Tours, but we had 250-ish person tournaments with about $500 prizes. And myself and Paul Sly would usually take first and second in those events. You know, pick up, that's where we both got our Power 9 from back in the early days, because, you know, they had Lotuses and Moxen in boxes as prizes. And anyway, people would be offended by the cards I'd play because they'd be losing. The original slide deck had Brass Men, Balloon Brigades, never forget the Iron Claw Orc, and man, people would be...
Not only...
I mean, they would swear at me.
Not only Iron Claw Orc, you had, like, non-bows in one of it, like, early on. You had things that died if you controlled a dwarf, and you had dwarves.
That was in the Type 5 format,
Well,
because
still.
I had to. I had to have 5 Fallen Empires cards.
Does it kill you that that's the deck everybody knows most is the Sly deck?
Yeah,
because it kind of gets posted as the Sly deck when it was really the one that you had to contort to weird rules.
Mm-hmm. because everyone else could basically, that format was intended to be everyone plays serrated arrows.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. If there's anybody who understands people reacting poorly to bad cards winning, it's Jay. I mean, he's the he's the OG. I beat you with trash deck builder. So yeah, he knows those feels quite well.
You had to have 5 of every format that had been basically printed at that time, Marsh.
Yeah, it was weird. They were trying to force. They didn't want any of their sets to be regarded as bad, and Homelands was just bad, and nobody was playing anything from it. So forcing people to play some number of cards from each set in their standard deck from each, it was just a way to try and show that Homelands wasn't completely awful, but it really was.
Yes, that way you got to play like Dwarves of Flarg.
Wow. Yeah. No.
Ooh. Oh.
All right. Wait. Which deck am I getting now?
Oh, you're loading up the Esper control that I linked to you earlier.
All right. I'm working on it. You start talking to them about it, and I'll start with a link.
Okay. So Esper control is a really bizarre thing. So it's control like you would expect, but the discard is key. And what's really bizarre is it really needs to have a ton of life gain in order to keep up. It's not just the oaths. Having a set of oaths and bouncing oaths isn't enough. You have to have the, forecasting costs 3/4 body that gains you 3 life and makes them discard a card. Between the two of those, you're really pretty solid against red. Pretty solid meaning 60+% against them. They'll still beat you if they get a truly alpha draw. But that's one of the keys to getting this deck to work. One other thing that's really critical in this deck is Elder Spell, because Elder Spell lets you win quickly and by surprise. I mean, not only is it the universal solution for stupid opponent planeswalkers, super friends, and similar, but you very regularly use it on the remnants of Baby Teferi, or the whichever guy you just have you have laying around, and pumping up your Hero Teferi in order to get the ultimate going. And then of course you can ultimate lock. This one also plays instead of a couple of the 6 casting cost cards, it goes for the tutor to the sideboard because it just gives you flexibility. So the vampire fight's going to be a tough one. You need to play it really smart. You do want to pay the 2 life, and
we got to erasure
from the hand.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got to erasure.
Find ourselves a Sorin before it's too late. Ooh, this is interesting. We do have another one coming, so we really want to take their play for next turn. And honestly, if we take one of the 1-drops, then we take the Lieutenant is a pretty good card, but we have the Haunt to block everything, and landing is what destroys us the most. I think I want to keep him from going Aspirant Landing next turn.
I think you take the landing too. Just remember this version, and one of the things that really intrigued me, a good top deck.
Yeah.
One thing that really intrigued me about this build is it has no main deck global sweepers, other than maybe Legion's End, if you call that one.
Oh, to be fair, they could not have double spelled because they were both white and they had played a swamp. I still don't mind taking the landing there, but that was a consideration.
Sure. And now you can bounce the token as well with Baby Teferi.
Yeah. And we just lose them then to the Conquistador, but we buy some time.
Yeah. Do remember, though, you don't have any mass sweepers in the main. You have to go to the sideboard with the sideboard tutor to get them.
Okay. Well, we can play this land without pain, so that's nice.
It's interesting that it has also...
Oh, I played the wrong one. Well, I didn't know we were drawing a plains, but we actually, if we want to do Bell Hunt, we can't play the plains. But we might not want to. Although to do 2 of anything, we need more black next turn. So
So that's actually good. They're hitting the baby Teferi. I would take out the. I was going to mention Disfigure is a big win in this deck. It's
Yeah.
crazy good.
Unfortunately,
right
again,
now.
we're very stuck on black. So to kind of get where we need to, I think we have to shock ourselves again. Is that
No, you don't.
we can only play one of
actually,
these cards if we don't.
I think you want to though. You do want to because you want it as a blocker. They can't attack through it.
Oh, you want this? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you want it. The Basilica will neutralize the life loss, and
They only have to discard a land, but still the chance to discard something is waning as well.
mhm.
See, maybe they'll play a dupe for us, and we can end the Legion. How appropriate.
And it's nice to see you're fairly stable at this point.
Yeah, let's see. We get Narset and something else.
I would not drop Disfigure mana, so be very careful on how it taps.
Yeah, let's.
It will
let's
be
watch.
stupid.
So this allows this. This is what we want. Yeah.
Right, that's good. I just wanted to make sure it didn't do something crazy with the mana tapping. I don't trust it.
No, you shouldn't. Although I like how you hover and it shows you. You know, you get to at least check the work. Now we probably just want Disfigure or Legion's End is sorcery. We could do that
Hold it.
now.
Hold Disfigure.
Hold both.
Yeah,
Let's see what they do
hold
here.
it. Maybe they'll charge you. They might bum rush you. They might do some trick.
Or Bum Rush Narset.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate. But maybe if they go for pumping the aspirant or the lieutenant, we can kill it underneath them.
Exactly correct.
Oh, they're going from hand to great battlefield. That is tough. It's going to be the 5-drop that is going to really wreck us.
That's a pessimistic view.
Welcome to the family.
It was a 5-drop, not the 5-drop I was expecting, but a 5-drop. That's okay. We get Raveler, Thought Erasure to take care of it if we want.
So whether or not they charge, you still want to.
Yeah,
you have to get rid of the flyer.
get rid of the flyer, and then we have a nice bounce plan here.
Right. Don't forget they couldn't have actually drawn cards previously.
Because of Narset.
Because and don't
I don't
forget
remember
now
Narset.
Right, and now you can bounce and remove it from them.
Yeah, so let's go. Let's do that. Although I should look at what Narset has to offer first.
Meditate and prepare.
Probably want another Teferi over Thought Erasure when we're about to get like the last card from their hand.
That's more like it.
Hey, that was enough for them to be all done. Interesting.
You see how strong this build is?
Yeah,
It's crazy good. The removal, by not having any global removal, your point defense gets so good that you find you don't really need it. Combined with the life gain. This is the deck I've been running about 70% with.
Feels strong. But
Yeah.
What do you know? Esper Control seems well positioned.
I mean, a variant of this did take last week's Fandom Legends.
Do we want to keep this? These seem a little clunky for where we're at, but we do have
They're-
Teferi on time and an Elder Spell potentially. Oh, no second black even.
This is pretty rough. Your call, you've got 3 land. The deck can top deck well.
I'm going to keep.
Best of 1. Guru.
We got Teferi on 3. That's good enough for me.
You've got the 5 Calcus Fairy.
Oh, that's the 5? Oh, shoot. Oh, well. We're still going to get there. You'll see.
If you had the 3 cost, I would have been fine with it. It looks like they're playing control, so that's fine.
Funny,
if they're
though. I
playing
just saw Teferi and assumed it was the 3.
Yeah, if it's Esper on Esper, which is what it looks like, they're going to discard something out of your hand, and they're going to look at your hand and hopefully scoop, because they've never seen anything this horrible against them. Because this is the hand you want in the mirror.
Go like this.
Get the double black.
Yeah. Well, we have that next turn, and nothing to do with it yet. So that was my thinking.
Sure, that's fair.
I'm known for my excellent timing. Here we go.
But I suppose doing this way would have allowed us to play a tapped land and not shockers. Not that life matters too much in this particular game.
More than you think, because the card you're going to tutor for is the artifact that lets you play off the top by paying life.
Well, we're still going to give it up here so that we can Elder Spell. I think that's right?
Oh, yeah.
We don't have any
100%.
time. We're not doing anything else.
You can't let that crazy thing sit there. I mean, there's too much bad things, come into play effects.
Droidian is facing... Sorry, go ahead. You finish your thought, then I'll talk to Droidian.
I was going to say, so playing the Bell Haunt, I've been bouncing those in this mirror match.
So do we want to Fortress Bell Haunt or Tapped Fountain Narset? They've got counter up.
Yeah, I think you want to put out Narset.
Okay.
It's very close, but just to keep from shocking yourself.
I have practiced against keeping an open mind.
Ooh, look at all that.
Got through.
What do you want? We're in control. Probably just want the Thought Erasure.
Thought Erasure. You need the mana efficiency.
Anyway, Droidian was saying, I've been thinking about building an Esper control deck on Arena, but I'm afraid of rotation coming around the corner. That's totally fair. One thing you could do if you're someone who's rotation averse in terms of spending wild cards and whatnot right now would be to use all of your Johnny deck building powers to cut. Well, I mean, just give up on the stuff that's rotating, but there's a lot in the Esper control deck that's not even rotating, and so I believe you could come up with a non-rotating Esper control build that was really nice and then would become better on rotation.
So you might want to go and grab... So since they're playing Esper Hero, you might want to grab a Wrath here.
Go grab a Wrath and then just untap
from your sideboard, yeah.
Okay. In that case, we would Shrine over... Okay, so let's go check that.
You've got the mana. You can just go ahead and do it. Get a Kayla's Wrath out of the sideboard.
Oops, tried. There we go. On here. Little laggy. Oh, Fnatic Guru was paying attention and saw that they didn't have a instant, or at least weren't showing one with their auto passing.
And good call, Fnatic. The way that I determined they weren't going to be showing Counterspell was that they're playing Hero, and Hero builds almost never have the room.
That's
for it.
very true.
They're playing too many janky creatures. Yeah, they're not going to let you do that again, are they? Oh, yes, they are.
Oh, neat. Okay, by getting Chapel, we actually have Erasure plus Wrath this turn. I'm not sure we had... Maybe we had it before even, but this is even better.
Make sure the mana taps properly and you're in business.
Yeah, let's see. So if we do this, then we get left with Erasure mana, so that seems fine.
The other way, though.
Do this first.
Yeah, Thought Erasure first. Sorry to interrupt you, Droidine.
Oath. I don't think we need Oath with what we're about to do here.
Oath is a good card.
Really?
I would
keep
take
it?
Yeah, no, keep it.
Okay.
It's good life gain. It'll make sure that you can do other dumb tricks. Because you still probably want to get the thing that turns life into cards.
Hone your prowess.
Well, let's... Do you want Teferi or Oath? We have Big. We don't have Baby. Let's take Baby Teferi. That's better than Oath,
Baby.
right?
Yeah, it is here, I think. It also lets you bounce your Bell Haunt.
Droidin is asking about full control. So if you tap the control key alone, just one tap of the control key, you bring up full control. And that just says it doesn't auto pass. It will stop at your phase and won't assume that you don't want to do anything. And you can also use it to bluff a little bit. And if you have a bunch of tough sequencing, you can hold down control and then hit shift and it goes into hold full control, and then it just stays in full control. But basically, the primary thing is to bluff or to do some careful maneuvering in spots where the game would not support you in the auto-passing arena. Okay, I don't know if they drew anything. Probably not, but I don't know what else we do besides. Let's see, we can we could ravel their. Oh no, that doesn't do. No, it doesn't bounce planeswalkers, right? Creature enchantment artifact. We could put their Teferi in. That doesn't necessarily do anything anyway.
Basilica first.
All right, we're just Basilica.
Basilica gives them fits. Because you're threatening just to swing.
And I guess we erasure in
go
case.
for the other card. Yeah, go for, they held
Teferi?
something. Yeah.
All right, we'll erase then. See what we can find. Surveil that away. Nice.
Good pull.
All right, they're top decking, but they do have a Teferi.
No time for a break.
Teferi's going down unless they found an answer in 2 cards to our Bell Haunt. And they don't have any great choices there. All 3 cards are great, so whatever.
It's amazing the number of mirror matches I see Scoop in these fights because they look at your hand
Thought
and go,
Erasure
oh.
Scoop. I'm kind of expecting it. Like, Thought Erasure Scoop here might not be unexpected if this is a blank. If they drew some other action here, maybe they keep going, but
yeah,
this is a tough hand to beat if this is a blank.
As weird as it sounds, if I was going to mastermind here, I would get my Clear the Mind. Or the thing that Felden's Cane's your graveyard.
Sure, just get all that action back.
Shuffling all your action back. So see if you can take out the hero first.
Scorn says no.
That's, I guess, a strategy.
Yeah,
so
we can. Go ahead.
Another thing you can do is there's you've got one more Elder spell in your deck. You don't have any in the sideboard.
None to get with this.
But I'm not sure. I think that's a little bit.
Well, let's start with Narset, see if we find it, and if we don't, we rehunt.
Oh, I probably just Narset and Fairy.
And
they
it's
can't draw
auto-tap
cards anymore with the Narset out, so you sort of neutralize the goodness of their hero.
Oath just takes it out, right?
Oath takes it out. There you go. Get Oath, take out their hero, and they're left with nothing.
Nothing. This has got to be a scoop spot. Scoop it up. You're done.
Pretty much. There it is.
This deck's all right.
Yeah, this deck's all right.
But we do have a lot of variety. Do you want to keep going now? I mean, people saw this crush it twice. You want to go again?
Yeah, play another one.
All right.
I'd like to show it crushing a mono red. That shouldn't be that hard to see.
Yeah, we're overdue for mono red.
That way you can swing for the cycle.
What's up, Rocket? That seems quite a keepable.
Yeah, legit.
Good against most. We'll see if that comes into play here. We could leave a disfigure, but we don't need to. We have nothing for 2 right now, so actually let's play Temple. Play the thing that must come into play tapped. And no second blue yet. That's interesting. But
I still probably keep Narset.
Yeah, I'm still going to keep her. I think with Teferi drawing us a card and stuff, we'll find our blue. Yes, in fact, let's see. I think I got off track of uploading this to NetDecker, but here, let me give you at least a link to the Goldfish location. So this is the current deck list. And I'm not going to put it into Stream Decker because this is going to be our last game with it anyway. But now, let's drop a tapped grave.
Sounds good.
We have Disfigure up, although maybe we're up against vampires. We could be up against Esper Control.
If they're vampires, you can play it afterwards, and if they're off to a slow start, you're going to beat them.
Yeah, so
Barring
just take
vampire tricks. It is vampires. Well, I'll be.
Didn't find our blue, but
That's okay.
I
You
like
got another
Teferi
Planeswalker.
here. And just tick it up.
Yep. And now you're gunning for 6.
I've got time.
I want that Disfigure back now. That works too, though. And we can go ahead and play a tapped land again. Although if we're going to bounce something, we should do that first and figure it out.
Yeah.
What do we want to bounce? Let's bounce the more
You can
expensive
only
one.
you can only kill the knight. You can't kill the other one.
Right.
It's not terror.
I'll protect you.
Yeah, this is just straight up standard. Any thoughts on the... Oh, do you want to talk about a little bit about the land format? You know the details better than I. I just saw their,
Sure. Give
their
me
overview.
half a second before I answer
Sure.
that question. I want to grab the detail. I'd set up to have the rules for it at hand, and I want to be able to just cut and paste them in.
I'm going to try and lure them into, like, trying to pump the knight to take out Teferi or something and cast down after the pump. Might not work, but they also are not playing likely any things that stop a cast down from working.
Is there an easy way for me to put in about 4 or 5 sentences, or just drop it in the channel?
What do you mean, 4 or 5 sentences? Like,
Of rules.
I mean, you can talk about it. I'll shut up. But I
Yeah,
don't know.
no. Well, I was going to put in case people wanted to look at it.
Yeah,
read.
or maybe you can. If there's a place to link to, is there a place that Wizards has made this available?
I couldn't find Wizards, but I found some people citing them.
Okay. I would just post it into chat.
Yeah, I'm just dumping this into chat.
Let's see. We still don't have our blue.
Don't forget, you've got another Teferi you can put in.
Yeah, but do we want? I mean, do we really want to give up this Teferi yet? I feel
no,
like
they're
no.
not. They're not threatening you, which is the
Yeah.
only reason.
So I'll do that,
Oh, I've done the hero thing before.
and we'll just go ahead and pass. It's actually not a bad deck to command the Dreadhorde against, because they're going to have a lot of small stuff that we can just sneak into our battlefield for very little. Ooh, Elder Spell. Looks like I
Elder
guess they
Spell
can.
on their Sorin is going to be lots of fun.
Yeah, and even if
And
they
you can play Sorin.
even if
and
they
they're
take
good
out our
people.
Teferi here, we have our other Teferi to do it with. So yeah, and then we play
then-
our own.
Command, and you get their Sorin back and show them what a vampire deck looks like.
Yeah, hey, look, it's your vampire deck. What do you think of it?
All of it at once. I bet your deck's better than your deck. Yeah, you're right. It does look like you get cut off. Oh.
Oh yeah, sometimes it will truncate your text.
Let me just drop a link also to the place that I pulled the section of the rules from. I found a couple of sites that had it, but none of them linked back to the original Wizards post. And Wizards didn't have it on their site, which was more than a little annoying.
Oh, I couldn't figure out why the Elder Spell, but it's because we have my Teferi emblem. I was like, why can I cast the Elder Spell? That's weird. But there we go. I'm going to not do it now, though. We're going to make our Teferi bigger instead of just doing it at end step. Oh man, so many ways to go about this, but we're going to make sure that it leaves us with a double black. It does. We get to bounce the Aspirant and kill their Sorin while putting a couple counters on Teferi, so yeah.
This is all kinds of good.
We could have saved... I don't even know if we could have saved the Teferi. I didn't even want to, because we had the second ready to do this with.
This isn't a fight you can win. Let's try this.
I haven't actually checked the Discord recently. I'll have to check it in a few. I'm sorry.
This is not my final demise.
Probably just going to bounce the Vanguard here and play the Bell Hunt. If we get a land, we get to Bell Hunt. Ooh, that's interesting as well.
Yes, it exiles, so it's a
Yeah,
solution.
we can go after Vanguard with it.
You can.
Do we want to? I'm going to start with a... Maybe we start... Let's see. Legion's End, Bounce, and... Thought Erasure... Although maybe Thought Erasure first, Scry, so that our Bounce might produce a land that allows us to do more.
Yeah, bounce and see what you get in the way of... I would probably bounce the order.
Well, if
the Ebon Legion.
But if we Erasure first, we surveil for our draw, which I like.
True. Well, that's fine too. I think all roads lead to Rome.
I'm going to start here.
It's hard to evaluate when everything has a really high win percentage.
Exactly. 95%, or... I guess the Bloodthirsty is a little scarier. They have the mana for everything.
The Bloodthirsty is scarier.
We don't want another Narset when we can't cast our first, so that was a decent surveil. Now we can do this part.
Might be a bad idea.
Sure, we just get all the Teferis we always need ever. Oh yeah, we could also do Aspirant because we get 2. Is that worth doing for the Legion's End double? The double play?
Sure, it's fun. How often do you get to use the double ability? Or, I don't. Every way wins.
Every way win, yeah. Bell Hunt blocks the Vanguard all day long, etc.
Yeah. Just pick your favorite way to win.
Put it to a chat vote.
They've gotten you down to 17.
Good work, Oppo.
Another choice here is to play their entire team.
Yeah, we could play this, and this.
You can get a Teferi of your own out.
All right, we have Teferi. We can put a Narset in.
Don't forget the thing goes up when you lifelink.
So let's see. Should we want to do it that way? Should we get Dreadhorde fun?
It generally causes them to scoop. Make sure you get a
At least those 2. That's 4 life.
I would
potential
get
5, 6, 7.
Theirs.
7 there, and then 8, 9, 10 on Teferi.
Yeah.
And leave 7, or are we good with? We just want to go all in.
It doesn't. All roads win.
All right. Well, let's see if they decide to stick around after this. And how
Don't
do we
forget to sacrifice one to.
There we go. I was like, are you really going to make me figure this out, Oppo? Don't make me figure it out. All right. Who knew? Esper Control, turns out, folks, good deck. Good deck, Esper Control.
Really good deck. Let me put a link in here for a second. Assuming we're going to talk about the other format. I don't know if you want to bring... Can you bring up the window?
Yeah, let's go there.
So this was the best example in the link. I put the link in chat.
Here, let me get to Soapbox. That doesn't do it either. How about...
I'm also...
Actually, let's go Battlefield right, but I'm going to turn off chat for just a second so that you can... see the letters up there if you want. It just says, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, get a small effect based off the top card of your library. Based off. I would call it based on. That seems like weird English to me. But I suppose both are acceptable. Anyway, what more details do we have about this?
So it goes on to saying there's, depending on the top card of your live, whenever you play a land, it has effectively a landfall tree.
Here we go. Someone
And the landfall, it's at the very bottom of the link that I put in.
Look at the rollover on screen now, though. We got it. So if you roll over the emblem there, it shows you that the emblem says
good.
landfall. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, exile the top card of your library. If that card is a land card, put it into your hand. If that card is a creature card, put that card onto the bottom of your library and create a 1/1 green plant creature token. If that card is a non-creature, non-land card, put that card on the bottom of your library. Each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So you're going to drain for 1, make a 1/1, or draw a land. Draw a land. Okay.
The problem with this is this format allows for one deck, Scape Shift.
I know, like, why would I do anything but Scape Shift here?
You would not do anything but Scape Shift. And you would even probably play a 29 or a 30 land Scape Shift, and you're done. I wish I had more to say. I was all excited. Okay, I get to build a cool deck we get to play with, and there is nothing here.
I can't believe they didn't ban Scape Shift for this. They've shown the willingness to ban individual cards to make their funky formats a little more challenging to try and find the build for. But given the dominance of Scape Shift, I'm very surprised that the team didn't figure out to ban Scape Shift parts for this event.
It looks like they did this a month and a half ago.
Yeah, but they could have added a ban. I don't know. We'll see. I think this is going to be pretty miserable. What do you think for people who do not want to craft Scape Shift? Is there there's free-to-play players who are not going to get the Scape Shift deck who need some way to go. Just go under?
Speed. You have to go under them. You could use the black-red that I showed today. It's a reasonable choice. You could also go with something that makes Scape Shift bad. You could... The problem is the decks that make Scape Shift bad are really pretty terrible. They don't even win that much against Scape Shift.
Right.
Because the best solution is... the best solution is to unmoored Ego and to pull out the lands.
A couple of interesting suggestions from chat as well. Palatero suggests a Gates deck. Yeah, you could make a bargain Gates deck that would have some play, and if you needed to craft, it would at least be non-rotational stuff for the most part. Blood Moon is an interesting play. People are going to be playing tons of non-basics, so yeah. Well, you say Blood Moon, but we don't have Blood Moon, but there is the
Blood Sun.
Alpine Moon and Blood Sun.
Blood Sun.
Yeah,
both of those work. The problem is that with using the Blood Moon or the Alpine Sun is the good Scape Shifts all play Teferi.
right.
And that turns them off for long enough for them to kill you.
Mm-hmm. One thing we can do in the future, by the way, Jay, it doesn't work here because we need this. We need these emblems to properly playtest. But if we do get a playtest thing that's like, say new standard, right? Like we're playing with standard shakeup, we could actually on Fridays go ahead and challenge each other in formats that haven't started yet, provided there's no emblem that is essential for authentic play. Just a thought. We use the challenge system to circumvent lack of that starting yet to explore.
Oh, that's
decks.
a good idea.
Yeah, not useful this week, but maybe in future weeks.
We could play Scape Shift versus Scape Shift this week.
Yeah,
That'd be awesome.
if we want to see what it's like, we could just go into the standard queue and take our Scape Shift deck until we play another Scape Shift deck.
This sounds like stabbing ourselves in the hand.
Yeah, it's not.
See what it's
not how I want to spend my magic time. How about we play maybe 1 or 2 games from one other deck, and then I got to get out of here and get my kids to the doctor. Did you have other decks? Or
those were the 2 decks that I had brought for this week.
Okay, then maybe we're good. Maybe I'll just play the Esper one again, or I can take a look at what I've been messing around with. Maybe there's something interesting I've been doing. I don't know. Let's see. Probably not. This was my deck for the shake-up. Just kind of shake up Rakdos, and I had shake up Elementals. Really, I've just been on the Elementals deck for my general grind, but let's do one more Esper Control game, and then I'm going to sign off. Yeah, Doc, we hang around a little bit longer on Fridays. And Jay Schneider here. joins me for some standard talk.
By the way, Doc, I was actually worked on Zendikar way back in the day. That was one of the sets I was on. Just as a playtester, but I was one of the more extensive ones.
I have a soft spot for Zendikar Limited. I don't want to play it all the time, but the fact that it is the extreme example of what aggro can be in Limited, it is fun to dive into that sometimes. I'm going to keep this. Looking pretty darn good. We'll tap the Shrine, and then these will come in untapped. We're still another blue away from a Narset, but I really like what we've got here.
Good. That's the deck we wanted to
Yeah, we wanted to try this. So we just Legion's End that thing and see if they've got any others, or are we doing something else?
Legion's End it. All equally important is just seeing what's in their hand.
Sure, this is a nice peek.
This is really important. Peak is really good in this format. Okay, so
They got a light.
They do have a light,
but they don't have it yet.
Right, we want to make that light as uncomfortable as possible.
So
that was great for us.
Yeah, we get to drop a chapel and oath it away. Gain some life in the process and keep this light up the stage. Well, I guess they get to go land.
No, there's still one. They haven't shown. Oh, there's the land.
Yeah.
It's fun to yank their chain. Oh, that's not too
I rock a
bad.
mic like a vandal, light up a stage and wax a chump like a candle. Dance.
Narset, help us.
Find some gas. This figure would be good right here.
Ha, nice
Hey.
call.
Wow,
do we
I
just
stepped
use
like
it
a
while
bird.
they know about it, or is there a reason to wait? I guess we do it now because we know they have Wizard's Lightning.
now.
Let's,
Yeah, they've
let's
got
do it
Wizard's
before
Lightning.
they can make a cheap Wizard's Lightning.
Give them an uncomfortable attack option. Ooh, an expensive Wizard's Lightning. I love seeing those.
Yeah, and we get Narset right back, although probably just Teferiing. Ooh, we get Oath.
Still to ferrying because we've got lots of life. We're at 19.
Oh, yeah, sure.
This is crazy.
Trust me. You'll thank me later. Keep up the pace.
And more gas.
I don't think there's
So
any
you're
blue we're trying to represent here.
You're doing a lot better than my 70%. I believe you're about to be 4-0.
Yeah, 100% is a pretty good record. Small sample size, but if we can win this, which it looks like we'll be able to do, we got all the tools to crush red
And
here.
and you did actually play the cycle.
I won't let you win.
Every type of deck.
Every major type of deck.
Let's see. We could Narset Oath, or we just go straight to Bell Hunt.
Draw a card first.
Yeah, we'll draw a card first.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
This is tough. I
think we need to
really
Oath the
want-
Runaway, right?
Yeah, but I really want the card in their hand, but I guess I shouldn't be greedy.
Well, card in hand makes sense. Yeah.
Card in the hand, that could be if that's an experimental frenzy, that's I think our only path to loss.
That's a good point. Let's go ahead and take out their last card. I think we'll be fine.
I think we will too. And besides, they're going to have to do some sort of stupid attack at the Teferi, like sacrifice both their creatures. Or shock it.
Hey, that was uncalled for.
That wasn't exactly what we wanted, but
yeah, because now Steamkin could get to 4 toughness if they draw a spell, but we'll see if they do. And even if they do, I don't think it's the worst situation here.
It's not. I mean, it's a 4/4, which is good, but whatever. If they swing, if they throw anything else at now you've got an interesting question. I think do you chump?
I think so.
Okay.
I think we save to
Yeah, I
Teferi.
think you chump. And you force them to sacrifice 2 creatures on it.
Yeah, if they want to get it, they got to use these 2.
Yep.
No more games.
And you are at 26 life against them.
And just as we hoped, they just used a bunch of resources to do that. Here, Narset Oath or
Narset Oath. See, Narset first. See what you get then.
yes, and we're left with Oath mana, so we can do it this way.
Right. You want to cast or a
I
Legion,
train every day. No one is meditate and prepare.
or Teferi. Even better.
Yeah,
Just
could you
bounce
bounce
there.
the Steamkin?
Yeah. Bounce the Steam Kill. And please swing at your planeswalkers. You need the life. You'll never get to 30 without it.
Right, how are we going to get to 30 unless they attack us? Was there ever a discussion for an in-game log? Absolutely, yes. Lots of ideas for how to execute it. Ultimately fell off the list of priorities because it was determined to be not just ultimately totally required. You know, you could get there without it
Focused.
if you just do a lot of communication. Looks like we got 7 for Oath, Cast, and if we wanted to, Erasure, but there's nothing to erase here. We could also
I think you kill 2 creatures.
Bellhaunt kind of effectively kills
or
2.
you could, you could Bellhaunt.
We could Bellhaunt Cast down, and then
Bellhaunt cast down the big thing.
and then we actually can save the cast down and
That's true. Good point.
decide
just-
what to get.
Yeah, sit on it. Let them do an ugly attack.
Yeah, they have to do a bad attack, and then we get it. Oh, they might just go for Narset off the Pyromancer. We'll see. Yeah,
Sure, but they still might swing everything for the dome because, they've got a... They're still trying to race you, aren't they?
Yeah, let's see. Well,
First
I don't
one to
think they have
50?
at 31. I don't think they can. Yeah, they're correctly not attacking, but they're incorrectly not scooping. I'm not sure why, but we'll get them to eventually here.
Well, you haven't drawn a kill. You
There
could
we
draw.
go.
There it goes.
This is like, I'm not sure what you think you're going to do against the grip full from Esper, but sure, let's keep going.
Anyway, I'm glad you got to see that, and the deck performed well.
Yeah, there we go. That was nice, just rattling off. It feels easy when you got all the answers.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people play Control. All right, that was fun. We're going to look for somebody to raid here while we say farewell to our friend Jay. Jay, thank you so much for taking
You're
the time.
very welcome. I will catch you all next week, and I will hopefully have other interesting things to show.
Yeah, we'll
I
keep a
will catch
lookout
you-
for the format and maybe look ahead to the next one, too.
I'm excited to see it. Talk to you all soon. Thanks, everybody.
See you, Jay. And it looks like a lot of our friends are at GP Vegas today, so not a lot to raid, but Amazonian is around, so we're going to go say hi to the Amazonian. It's been a blast. We had a really rough start with an 03 M20 draft, but we came back with a 7-win war draft, so we got both ends of that spectrum. Had Jay on for some fun time with Constructed, and we're headed into the weekend. I'm going to have a blast. I hope you all do too. I hope you come back on Monday, and we can restart our week and run it up again. Take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. Be kind to strangers, and pay it all forward, and I'll see you on Monday. Say hi to Amazonian. Ciao.